Hello everyone, this is Creator Studios and welcome to the world of everyday facts which you may or may not be aware of. So, today we are going to see some facts about one of our states called Jharkhand. So, let's begin. Jharkhand was created on 15th of November 2000 by separating from Bihar, and in this process of separation, most of the industrial land and the mineral bearing land was transferred from Bihar to Jharkhand, and Bihar was left with the agricultural lands. First, let's talk about the history. So, there was a king called Raja Jai Singh Deo of Orissa who declared himself the ruler of Jharkhand in the 13th century. He did so because most of the people in this region were just not happy with the barbarism and other stuff that was going on with the locals due to some landlords. So they contacted this king, and he was more than happy to just acquire some more land in his kingdom. So he came out with a large army and destroyed everyone and became the ruler of Jharkhand in the 13th century. There were also some rulers called the Munda Rajas who exist even till this day. You can see these kings in the region. You can visit the tribal areas and you will be more than happy to see them. The language of Jharkhand, you see, is the similarity of the language is very unusual here. The similarity of this language is with the Harappan civilization or the Indus Valley civilization. So for a fact, if somehow we will be able to create a time traveling machine, we would need these people of these tribal areas of Jharkhand to do the translation job for you if somehow we need to talk to our ancestors and get some more facts about what they did. So, during the British rule, way before the revolt of 1857, there was a first revolt which was done by Tilka Manji in way back 1771, I think 1771, yeah. And the last revolt was also from Jharkhand on 1895 to 1900. It was done by the famous Birsa Munda of Jharkhand, who is just worshipped in Jharkhand. You can see the sheer amount of popularity of this man. So now let's move on to the present day situation. Okay, Jharkhand is now a very rich mineral state with lots of industries. Jharkhand is situated on the Chota Nagpur plateau that contains 40 to 50% of all the mineral resources of India. You can see the sheer size of this. You can just imagine the amount of minerals this state will have. And then also the state is really, really poor. 33% of people here are poor. And you see the amount of minerals is huge, but the locals do not get the benefit out of it. 20% of the children below 10 years are malnourished. Okay, so that's a really poor fact, but we have to acknowledge that also. So you can see the dominance of Jharkhand in mineral producing state. Let's not move away from the topic. It is also a leading producers of coal, uranium, mica, asbestos, copper, kyanite, graphite, dolomite, limestone, and many more. And to name a few, Jharkhand is the leading producer of coal. It's the number one producer of coal in India, and also for uranium and I think mica also. And so you can see the amount of minerals here. Jharkhand has 25% of all the total iron ore reserves of India. 25%, it's a small state, but it contains 1/4 of all the iron ore reserves of India. It is really, really a very huge amount, and it produces about 14% of total iron ore at the present, because most of the reserves have not been utilized. Maybe in the future it will be utilized, and then the percentage will just jump up. There are 7 mineral mines of uranium. There are 7 uranium mines at a single place called Jadugoda in Jharkhand. So you can say that it's the uranium powerhouse of India, the Jadugoda mines and Jharkhand as well. There is a steel plant in Bokaro Steel City, which is one of the largest steel plants in the world by its sheer size, not by its production. It's the size of the plant that is huge. It's more than 8 square kilometers in area, I think. So let's move on to some other cities like Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur has many steel industries. Jharkhand is just full of steel and iron. You see, it has many steel industries and thus known as the Pittsburgh of India. Jamshedpur is known as the Pittsburgh of India. Some of the industries in Jamshedpur are like Tisco, Telco, JSW, Usha Martin, just to name a few of them. Jamshedpur is also one of the very first planned cities in India. Okay, so that was about the minerals and industries. Now move to some religious facts. Jharkhand hosts Deoghar as an ancient city and it is known for its temples, the Baidyanath Dham temple. It is one of the 12 Jyotirlings which is in India, and you can see, if you want, you need to go to Deoghar to visit the temple. Other famous temples are the Sun Temple in Ranchi, Vasukinath Temple, Madhupan Temple, Angrabadi Temple, and many more. There's a lot of temples. This video will be short if I go on to explain each and every one of them. There is a mountain peak called Parasnath, which is 1366 meter high, which is the highest point of Jharkhand. It's also a religious site for the Jain peoples. There is a temple on the top of the hill, which is a temple of the Jain people. It's a very famous Jain site. Jharkhand has also a rich biodiversity of flora and fauna, and this can be seen in the Betla National Park in Latehar district, Palamu Tiger Reserves, Hazaribagh Wildlife Sanctuary, and few more to say at least. You can see animals like tiger, elephant, bison, wild boar, sambar, deer, fox, jackal, python, blue bulls, and a lot more. You cannot name them all here. I've just named a few which are quite famous. Now let's move on to some random facts, and just we are about to close the video. So there is a place called Punkri Burwadi in Hazaribagh, and it is the only place in India where you can view equinox sunrises. So those of you who don't know what is equinox sunrise, you can just Google it. You can find it very easily. There is a place, or there is a forest called Sarand Forest. It is a forest of sal trees. It's a famous tree of Jharkhand, and it is one of the densest forests. You see, the densest not in India only. It's the densest forest in all of Asia. You can see the sheer size of this. DVC, the Damodar Valley Corporation, is one of the first multi-purpose river valley projects of independent India. It was established in 7th July 1940, just 1 year after the independence. And this Damodar Valley organization or corporation is the powerhouse of Jharkhand. And for other fact, there is Ranchi, which is also known as the city of waterfalls because it has many waterfalls. Just to name a few, there is Hundru waterfall, which is the highest waterfall in Jharkhand. And so now we are going to end this video, but there's a single fact left. I was left it for you people. It's last, but it's certainly not the least. You see, Jharkhand has, as we all know, what? MS Dhoni, who needs no introduction, just his name is enough. So it's over. So let's conclude the video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and